Scorpio in the 10th house, Aquarius Rising. Shout outs to y'all, all right? You may be a Pisces rising, you may be a Capricorn rising, but if you have Scorpio in the 10th house, this is for you. All right, so let's get right into it. This is my placement, by the way. All right, now, first things first, we got to get into the rulership of the 10th house. What is ruling the 10th house? Mars. And you could throw a smidge of Pluto in there, even though Pluto has co-rulership over Scorpio, but it's important to know Pluto has a heavy influence over your 10th house as well. All right, but Mars is the ruler here, okay? What does Mars represent? Our drive, our passion, our intent, okay? Has a lot to do with our desire energy, has a lot to do with transformation as well, that isn't spoken about a lot of the time with Mars. And it could deal with our frustration, right? Our competitiveness, all right? Mars can relate to a lot of sexual energies as well. So we don't want to say so much relationships, but this could be a lot of influence for the sexual drive and what a man is turned on by, as well as a woman. Sometimes we kind of look at Mars from a sexual perspective only as from a woman's perspective, saying that Mars represents what type of man a woman is into, but it's the duality of Venus and Mars goes into both parties here. So with Mars ruling the 10th house, when it comes into creating opportunities in career, making things expand in career, all right, you want to know what house Mars is in, okay? The house Mars is in, your ability to demonstrate your passion or your experience with transformation in that area, or any forms of motivation and encouragement with transformation and intention to do something in a certain area, the more you're able to wear that in the 10th house with your Scorpio, with the Scorpio constellation there, right? The more you're able to wear that reputation and brand for that sense of transformation, drive, or intention for something, you know, or even a display of competitiveness in a certain area. These will do wonders, you know, when it comes into career, developing career, navigating career. All right. So let's say you have Mars in the first house. If you have Mars in the first house, you're already going to have things that you're dealing with, personal aspirations, dealing with transformation in some type of shape or form. All right. You embody a lot of things dealing with changing and transformation in your first house. You're going to have natural passions and aspirations for certain things personally, or you may just have, you may naturally just be passionate about certain personal ideologies about things, or your personal outlook about certain things. These things can be molded into career. And the reason I just paused for a second, because I knew I forgot something, but what I wanted to say was, you know, you may already have a reputation with Scorpio in the 10th house for something dealing with a sense of competitiveness, transformation, something that could be motivational, encouraging, inspiring, you know, also giving others the example of how to transform. Okay, let me not dive too deep into that yet. But yes, it's important to understand where Mars is at. So that's a Mars in the first house example. Okay, Mars in the 12th house. All right, if you got Mars in the 12th house, the 12th house is, you know, dealing with our imagination, our subconscious, right? You know, life after death themes, connecting to the collective consciousness, psychic abilities, clairvoyance, right? Our fantasies, our creative and spiritual influences. But, you know, mainly also our experience dealing with the subconscious. So if you have Mars here, you're going to be passionate about something that's either relating to the spiritual realm. All right. You're going to be passionate about some type of creative endeavor. A lot of the times Mars in the 12th house, Mars in the 12th house be needing that in the first house, in the first place, to release his energy, to release his passion, something dealing with a spiritual or creative, you know, concept in some type of shape or form. Something dealing with some sense of exploration that leads into some sense of experience and wisdom. Okay, Mars craves that in the 12, and there's no hesitancy jumping into it if you have Mars in the 12. You just go right into it. You just go into the audition acting. You don't even go into the audition acting. You start making your own acting show. You start filming skills on your own. Mars is the individual, and individuality is very important when it comes into understanding how that plays into the life path, your personal life path. Aquarius rising, having Scorpio in the 10th house. So understand where Mars is at. All right. Mars in the 7th house. Now, if you got Mars in the 7th house, you already know your ass passionate about something in relationships. You could be the most gentle, relatable person in the world. It's hard. It's really hard to see that having Mars in the 7th. I ain't gonna lie. But with that being said, you could be the most gentle, relatable person in the world. But Mars in the 7th house, you'll attract people in some type of shape or form that might be a little individual, stubborn in some type of shape or form, and make it hard for your relatable qualities to help build the relationship. So these personal relationship experiences may develop a passionate outlook, a passionate, I can't say passionate wisdom, passionate experience, but it develops a passionate outlook on your relationship experiences and newfound wisdom based off of some of these things, right? That can be developed into something in the 10th house, or just that can intrigue you to want to dive into correction and helping people with relationships. A sense of competitiveness that you have wanting to challenge ideologies or something in a certain field with Mars in the 7th house that can be displayed in the 10th house in career. You may just manifest a lot of collaborative efforts regardless of the house lord having the 10th house lord in the 7th. But with Mars being there, if it's a collaborative effort dealing with you guys working as a team to bring a sense of self-encouragement or transformation to others, oh man, that's big time. If you're connecting with people on a one-on-one level, helping them bring transformation into their life, that's big time. All right. So we could go through the examples, but that's the premise right there. With Mars ruling the 10th and trying to understand what you spiritually designed for yourself in career, all right? Now understand, I fuck y'all seen how I fucked the rhythm up just now? I snapped the shit out my motherfucking thumb knuckle like a motherfucker right now. That shit fucked up my whole snap and everything. It's like, damn, boy, you kind of missed the beat there. You missed the snap. All right, motherfucking thumb hurt a little bit right now, but anyways, we're gonna keep the snap going. I'll keep the education close, keep it flowing. Yeah. Now, all jokes aside, Aquarius rising. All right, y'all not be goofing around. Aquarius rising, guys. Your personal life path has a lot to do with transformation. Why? Because you are such an individual free thinker, aren't you? So, with that being said, your personality can, rub people the wrong way at times because you're not so. You don't just conform to anything. You have your own individual outlook about shit, and in this matrix, that don't rub people the right way all the time. Okay. But you the example as to why, you have to stand in your own personal ideology about some shit. You the personal example of that. Okay. And your life path, as you hit, especially when you hit the 4th, 7th, and the 10th, challenges this. Okay. So understanding, carrying your individual concept, personal outlook about something, your unique presentation, your unique personal appearance, your unique and original way of looking at things in the world. When you get into the 10th house, this is also an area to own the sense of individuality, but it obviously becomes challenging. Why? Because now you got Scorpio here. So Scorpio is dealing with more of your deeper feelings, thoughts, and emotions. More feelings and emotions that's often buried in the subconscious, deep in the subconscious, right? And some of these things filter up during your journey in your 10th house, right? Whether it's things dealing with self-doubt, certain insecurities, past transformations you've been through in the past that may play out as crutches to progress or overcome certain things in career. Scorpio's also dealing with being behind the scenes. So depending on certain alignments you have that may be supportive of dealing with displaying yourself and expressing yourself, Scorpio may also just naturally add a sense of vulnerability in owning your individuality in the world. Now, hold on. You're an Aquarius rising. So when it comes into your personality and your personal life, you is you and you always going to be you, right? Once again, you the example of being an individual and being original. But when you get into the 10th house, Scorpio has that strong influence of individuality ruled by Mars, straight out the 8th house, got that Pluto ownership, rulership too. So is that sense of individuality is still here. All right. I always say Aquarius, Scorpio is the top 3, top 5 most individual signs in the zodiac. So when it comes into the 10th house, it's one thing being individual in your personal life, but when you get into the 10th house, that's a whole nother thing. And it's not to say that y'all be fake in career. It's not to say that. It's not to say that, y'all so scary to be yourselves in career, but that's the thing. In the 10th house, that's your display to the world. Who you are personally at times doesn't always filter into who you are in the world, or what you may be building and branding all the time in the most transparent way, right? And it's not always in the most transparent way. How much people play characters in career? How much people are just actors? How much people do what they do in career, don't get too deep into being interviewed about things in their personal life? But there's a lot of different examples like that. But when it gets into Scorpio in the 10th house, there just may naturally be a sense of vulnerability. And when it comes into owning your individuality, because you already know how your individuality may come off a little opposing or rebellious to others in your personal life. So when it comes into you building something in the 10th house, at times it may feel like you're going to do that in the public eye. And guess what? You is going to do that. You is going to do that. It is not like it's not going to happen. You is going to do that. So you might as well, point of the story is let that individuality be seen. Let it be seen, because it's going to gravitate so much energy. In a lot of cases, gravitate power, and hopefully you're in the right healthy state, consciously, spiritually, mentally, to deal with power in a righteous way. Influence, when I kind of mean power as well. You know how influential we say you Aquarius are, but this is the journey to being that influential person. If you look at any strong, if you look at any influential person or whatnot that had influence, that has strong Aquarius placements, they can relate to this. They'll be able to give you their examples of having to own their individuality through experiences being different, outcasted, opposing, quote unquote rebellious, by just owning their own thought style, outlook on something. This is what challenges that in career at times. Now, so let's speak about transformation too. So transformation. When it comes into the 10th house, right? When it comes into this area and you have Scorpio here, we talk about transformation. There's going to be a lot of times that what you intended to plan, there's going to be a lot of times when you have a plan, when you have a plan and the way you've seen it plan out, it may take steps towards that, but you're going to have to learn to move and groove with having to change what you do, move with the times, because it's all fixed energy. So when we come into being concentrated, yes, you guys are going to be more inclined to do that, start to go and be in motion. But while you're in motion with Scorpio here, that Mars tunnel vision, that Pluto tunnel vision, focus, concentration, energy that can be provided here cannot also be a blockage towards being open towards learning new things and seeing when to change and transform. That's very key here. That's something I definitely can attest to. It's been too many things that I've been passionate about doing in the 10th house the way I wanted to do it, and there's times I had to reflect back on when there was another way to do something that I ignored, that I was aware of, something that the bro told me that I should do that I ignored based off of being too locked into my way of doing something. And that could just come from straight passion. That could just come from your strong, passionate intent to build something in the 10th house. So that is great we got that drive here. It's great we have that intent to want to build here, right? To get stable here, right? But you have to be able to see, both sides of the coin from that perspective, all right? So wherever Scorpio is at in our chart, wherever Scorpio and Aquarius is at, is going to go through transformation. So thus being a square, your personal life gets transformed from career. Your career going to transform your personal life. Not just because there's a square, but those added influences of transformation. All right. So it's important to understand that. You got to let that personality. It's not so much about letting your first house being seen in the 10th house, being open to what you got going on in your personal life and career, but that sense of your individuality and that natural sense of interaction and communication you have with others, not allowing other people's thoughts, programs to penetrate so easily that y'all have with Aquarius and Saturn rulership in that first house. Uranus influence in the first house, being original with your own personal ideologies. That has to be carried into the 10th house, even if what you're doing in the 10th house is something artsy. Something in the 10th house is dealing with you writing books and you having ideologies and things that you're putting in your books. Whatever it may be, keep that same sense of that uniqueness, that originality in that 10th house. Let it rub whoever's shoulders the wrong way it wants to rub, because on the flip side, you're encouraging so many people to be themselves. You're going to inspire so many people to be themselves, and it keeps the cycle going. So there's so much power in that. All right, so much power in owning who you are when it comes to getting challenged with that sense of vulnerability of doing it in the 10th house. Now, right, so it's gonna be natural vulnerability to expressing some of your true thoughts and emotions. I don't want to act like I'm saying, I don't want to feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but as you get deeper into what you're passionate about in career, having Scorpio here, it may have to open up a little part of you to be exposed in the 10th house. You have to think about it. You got the sign that's dealing with what's behind the scenes in the highest point of the chart. You have to really digest that, guys. The 10th house is who we are in the world. This is our soul status in the world. This is the largest scale. It's the midheaven. And we got the sign that's dealing with the 8th house, the deepest, the depth of us in this house. So sometimes this house takes for you to embrace revealing deeper parts of yourself. And it's at a righteous cost, because it's not just for anything. That's to help, expand the mind of others, help others learn how to self-heal, help others deal with transformation, help others deal with their individuality, help others deal with experiences that you can't just turn on the TV and see how to deal with. Now, a lot of you guys manifest, pretty much set, I'm just making sure, going through the main bullets here, helping others transform and persevere. You guys, no matter what you do, a lot of you guys, like I said, it could be something creative, something artsy, something directly spiritual, something dealing with finances, something dealing with the home, something dealing with the subconscious, whatever is dealing with having Scorpio here in that Mars rulership, man. You guys can manifest a lot of natural positions to help other people transform and persevere. So the more you can be the example of that through what you do in the 10th house, it can touch others a lot here. Don't forget, is water, your ability to connect in the 10th house. There's always a lot of potential for that there as well. Some natural things that may fall into the 10th house, sexual health, spirituality in the esoteric world in its own, exposing things, conspiracy like things. So I like to use like the word conspiracy and whatnot lightly, but being the light in the dark in some type of shape or form, helping bring awareness to others that a lot of people, majority of people, a large scale of people may be unaware about. No matter what is it, you might be bringing awareness to what a lot of people may be in the dark about when it comes into health, when it comes into politics, when it comes into the education system, helping lead transformation and change through bringing light, to bringing awareness to something in your 10th house that is behind the scenes. A lot of you guys may naturally, and nobody just starts. That's the thing with these type of things now. Nobody just be having intentions to expose this, that, and the third, bring awareness to this, that, and the third. But what happens? Scorpio in the 10th house brings you through a lot of transformations in career. Brings you through a lot of transformations. You, as Aquarius rising, you're experiencing a lot of things in the first house that's constantly breaking down certain ideologies that may be thrown upon you. And as you develop this individual personality, and outlook as an Aquarius rising, when it gets into your 10th house, the things that you may express to you is personal knowledge. To the world, it's some behind the scenes shit. To me, astrology and metaphysics and the esoteric world and the secret societies and the government been my whole life personally. When I put it in the 10th, this is new shit to a lot of people. All right? And sometimes you have to understand that. personally. You have to kind of understand that, you know. Because sometimes we underestimate the value we can give to others, the knowledge we can give to others, thinking, oh, nah, people know this already. You don't know what everybody knows. You might surprise yourself seeing a couple of comments or getting a couple of reactions or feedback from whoever you're connecting to saying, like, thank you for the new awareness for this, that, and the third. I was unaware of this, that, and the third. I didn't know this, so much of this was going on. I knew it was going on. I didn't know so much of it was going on. This, that, and the third. I didn't know it was affecting my children. I didn't know it was affecting the world this much. I didn't know it was affecting my community this much. I didn't know something subconsciously affecting me this much. So why y'all think the themes of opposition and rebellion is attached to Aquarius Scorpio energy? But we mainly focusing, well, we're talking about both right now, but I was saying that in correlation to Aquarius Rising. Why you think that? Because your abstract outlook, your abstract out the box thinking about things leads to things that be esoteric and people that the majority of the world is unaware of being common knowledge for you. But you may get caught up in expressing it and connecting that time like everybody knows it, and you can't control how everybody receives shit. But that's what your 10th house calls for at times. That's what the 10th house be calling for at times. And listen, guys, a lot of us, everybody here we're spiritually minded people, so a lot of these concepts at times or examples can, you know, be defined in spiritual examples in career, but man, you can take this into the common workplace. All these things here, you know, when you talk about the individuality, y'all go through it in the workplace too. You know, trying to do things in your own way a little bit, get smacked on the wrist, be like, all right, but sometimes you gotta acknowledge you was doing some shit against the grain. So it ain't like y'all just innocent all the time now. Y'all be walking that fine. Y'all be on the edge like a motherfucking edge right there. Y'all stepping right on that mother. I know me Aquarius. I know me an Aquarius placement now. So, you know, there's a zodiac sign associated with being an outlaw, going against the grain. Aquarius is competing for first place. So when you get into the 10th house year in the workplace at times and shit, you know, you may do things in an individual way, and the things that you may want to incorporate into the workplace in an individual way or whatnot, if you got any say so or whatnot, you know, it could be things that are progressive for the workspace, but you deal with competitiveness there, you know, then it may get appreciated elsewhere and shit, go through different transformations, start working elsewhere. There's all different type of things with the competitiveness or that sense of individuality being challenged here, having to own your individuality in some type of shape or form. You know, I like the scenario I just thought of that also dropped in my head is like somebody that dreadlocks and shit is like a super, you know, renowned thing in their family lineage, but they trying to work in corporate America and shit, you know? So they go through transformations. They done went to all the Ivy Leagues, everything. They done kept their dress through it all. Valedictorian and everything. Looking like Basquiat at the motherfucking, every valedictorian John, still looking like Basquiat. But when they got up to getting that job or navigating the company, that became an issue. And that could be some of the challenges with individuality. Now, I'm not saying cut your hair, or I ain't saying cut your hair, and I ain't saying don't cut it. But depending on where your individuality is at and what you feel like, but at this point in your life, the transformations you done already experienced, because you're the Aquarius Rising, Scorpio in the 10th house, so you done already went through a bunch of transformations with aspirations in both these areas. So by the time you get to that point, it might be a sense of spiritual strength you have to feel like you don't have to compromise a sense of your individuality, and you can continue on with a certain mission to do something, you know. But that's just like a little example I thought in my head of some things that y'all might run into dealing with those type of things in the 10th house, you know. My whole career life been unconventional, like a motherfucker. And everybody in my life looks at me like, why do I choose to go this route, do this, that, and the third? Like, Like, come on, you was raised right, you went to college, that and the third. Come on, what's all this? Teaching spirituality and astrology? Come on, kids. You got more to you, kid. Come on. Man, fuck that. I'll pay the cost to own my individuality, what I feel called to do in this age that I'm experiencing. Because we all been here before. You watching this video, you've been here before. All right, sometimes we think we got to make everything count, every experience, which we do got to make everything count, every experience, but don't underestimate how much work you've done to experience the new, outlets and things to do working in the age you in now. All right, but that's another thing for that. All right, now, managing finances and resources of others may be things that I naturally fall into in career, psychology, dealing with the subconscious. All right. Aquarius Rising, Saturn rules the first house. All right, you guys are very resourceful individuals. Okay, a lot of Aquarius placements I know, man, is some of my best friends. Okay, and I can always depend on a lot of them to, help guide me with some type of information on how to find something out. If not, give me the direct resource. And I believe a lot of them underestimate their ability to do this and get caught up doing it for others so much that they fail to really trust their ability to do it when they're trying to craft something of their own. And this is often that we do this in life, help others with things better than we could do it than our own at times. And not saying we can't do it for our own, but for some reason it's just better, encouraging others to get in a certain way. But it's even more powerful when you could just be the example without having to verbalize it, right? But with that being said, I don't want Aquarius Rising to sleep on the resources. And when I say resources, the information in general could be resource that you have to build something in your 10th house that you're passionate about. All right. See where Mars is at, guys. See where Mars is at. That is where you're passionate about. You got intentions there anyways. So the fact that you have Mars in the house, I was supposed to say this early in the video. Mars is exalted energy in this house. So that's another thing. You feel me? Mars is exalted energy in this house. So, whether you have Mars in the 10th house or not in the 10th house, Mars just ruling over the 10th house. Mars is a good energy to have, influencing your 10th, because the 10th is a great house to have that sense of drive, intention to build, that sense of durability, perseverance when navigating the career life, building stability, laying bricks down, building a foundation. Boy, is Mars great to have there. So that's why it's exaltation there. And that's why people that have Mars in the 10th house, they already have a natural drive to want to do something in the 10th house. That's why they could naturally fall into positions where it look like it's so natural for them to wear the success of what they're doing in the 10th house or whatnot. Because, that drive then developed a certain character. And that's, they glory, not their story. But Mars has that there. All right. So you can, in a sense, a lot of you guys get overwhelmed with what you got going on with Scorpio in that goddamn 10th house at times. Get overwhelmed because maybe you're overloaded passion here. And I like I said, this is my placement, but I got Mars, Pluto. I got Mars and Pluto in there. And my Mercury in there. They're all conjunct. So my mind, mentally, I'm so conscious of knowing how to calm my mind down through anything I'm trying to build or navigate, especially in career life, because I know how much of an intense, passionate thinker I am. This is why I could be an impulsive communicator in a way, but how it affects my 10th house career life, it transforms a lot. And I could get into deep, passionate thought about trying to figure out why it's transforming and changing and how should I do this, that, and the third. It's like, yo, slow it down. All right, so I know not to allow myself to overwhelm myself mentally here. So that can happen just having Scorpio there and Mars ruling there. So it's coming from somebody that got the dose of all of that. All right, so it's very important to manage your well-being through the things you're building there, because Scorpio, Mars rulership over there, all of that is gonna bring a sense of durability and perseverance on its own. All right. So now getting into how some of the other houses conflict the other houses in this personal life path of the Aquarius rising, we go to the fourth house where we have the opposite sign of Scorpio, which is Taurus. Now Taurus is more so dealing with reality, is more so dealing with planting seeds in reality, experiencing reality, right? Stability. So sometimes, well, a lot of the time, excuse me, with Taurus in the fourth house, your sense of individuality and what you're passionate about in the 10th house can come off as opposing and rebellious and damn near transformative towards the stability or what seems like is already planted and concentrated as you came into the world. Now, keep in mind, Taurus in the fourth house, this is any placement in your fourth house is going to square your first, right? It doesn't matter what sign is in there, but Taurus is stable and is also is ruled by Venus, and it has the rulership of the moon. It has a relationship and the influence of the moon. So you still have a sign with the moon influence in your fourth house. So a lot of the time it could be a genuine caring concern, which is still a sense of resistance to what you're doing, or what you may be passionate about changing and transforming and creating and manifesting in your 10th house, or that straight up individual ass, unique ass presentation you have in the world. Taurus in the fourth house, this may be the area your family, your loved ones or whatnot, your parents in some type of sense may feel like you could walk a more straight and narrow, stable route with doing something and not have to be so out the box or try to chase something this, that, and third because you're so capable of doing this, that, and the third. It's like, I know I'm capable of doing this, that, and the third, but that's not what I want to do, or that's not what I'm passionate about doing, this, that, and the third. So that can create that shit going on, with Taurus in the fourth house. Almost like Taurus in the fourth house could start trying to downplay what is it your 10th house aspirations are because they don't deem it as stable, all right? So I know a lot of y'all may go through that, but there is a lot of times when I look at this alignment, with Taurus in that fourth house, there is going to be a sense of, stableness or support that can get managed for your 10th, depending on the relationship with, your home environment, this, that, and the third. Okay. Now jumping into the 7th, what do we have here? We have Leo. We have Leo in the 7th. So when it comes into, your 10th house, dealing with the vulnerability, right? When it comes into dealing with the vulnerability of having Scorpio in the 10th house and wearing something individual or starting to have your true self be seen more in the 10th house, that may bring vulnerability. Leo in the 7th house can start to become an outlet to bring light and awareness to what is it that you're creating and doing and developing in the 10th house. Scorpio once again learns from Leo, when is it time to embrace the light, kind of encourages or motivates the phoenix at times within. And then Leo learns from Scorpio at times when, all right, I own the stage already. I could be behind the stage right now, and whatever case that may be. So, or deal more so with the subconscious and reflect within more than the outward expression. So they help each other with that through the square, but Leo may have its amusing, embarrassing, loud, whatever type of way of triggering your 10th house at times to be seen. So remember, the 7th house is your relationship. So it don't even have to be intimate romantic relations when we mention it. This could be relationships of all sorts. So it could be a friend, it could be a bully, it could be certain one-on-one relationships in the world that express their energies to you that trigger your 10th house to be seen, whether you're doing it in an encouraging way, you're doing it in a, insecurity way, they bullying you or, shaming your shit or harshly critiquing it, but it's through an insecurity way because, that's the way of projecting on you. And that motivates you to be like, man, let me express my shit. I know my shit is the shit or whatever. So you have, Leo is in the 7th house, has this way of triggering that. But at the same time, it also brings a way of encouraging you when you have people that, see the light, see the potential or whatnot, and what is it that you're individual about, your uniqueness or whatnot, and they want to shine light on that, may have a resource to help shine light in that, or just the simple people that you're connecting out into the 7th house you know, you helping them to motivate transformation, to birth things in their life. You know, Leo's dealing with a lot of birth energy. Scorpio dealing with a lot of transformation. So, you know, make a lot of connections to the people in the 7th house. There's a lot of potential to make people in the, there's a lot of potential to make connections with people in the 7th house, you know, due to you motivating or inspiring them to birth something, but just through transformation, because that's transformation, birth, same thing, right? So, that's what we got going on with the 7th house. Actually, I just feel like I want to make sure I miss anything about the 7th house. The 7th house alone can be a house that can motivate you to be more expressive in your 10th by default. Just seeing people jump into their expressive ass energies in the 7th. So just seeing an example of people, relationships, people you may be connected to, embracing sunlight in the 7th can help you, you know, embrace, you know, pushing something out in the 10th a lot of the time. All right, guys. So shout out to all my Aquarius rising. Shout out to all my Scorpio in the 10th houses. All right, hope that brought some clarity. Okay, y'all already know what it is. It's Boro, the lucky Libra, and I'm up out of here. Peace.